What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. The eggnog is flowing. Week 14 is basically over, right? So, playoffs are here. If you're still listening to this, congratulations. It's Christmas time. You have plenty of things to be, happy for, thankful for with Christmas. Plus, you're probably in the fantasy playoffs. And you might even be like me and have a couple leagues that you're getting that first round bye, which is even better. That's what it's all about. But the bye week's just 1 week, guys, so you still got to win the thing. Still got to pay attention, check, see who's dropped, see who gets added, all that stuff. Make sure you got your handcuffs, just be ready, right? Let's be prepared. Let's be diligent. Just because you got the bye week, let's stay the course, guys. Today's episode's my week 15 early waiver wire ads, guys. All my waiver wire ads are below 55% rostered on Sleeper, guys. So we're going to jump right into that. Quarterbacks, I don't think there's a lot we really need to talk about. No bye weeks. You want to, play Will Levis if there's a bad matchup. Do you want to play Russell Wilson maybe? Like, that's not something I think that we're like, I think what you got is probably better. But what I will read you here is the bottom 5 worst fantasy matchups for quarterbacks, guys. 49ers are the worst matchup. Lions, Patriots, Packers, Rams, Vikings, guys. Maybe there's some defense you want to avoid at the quarterback side. Best quarterback, quarterback defenses to face in fantasy football: Titans, Cowboys, Raiders, Broncos, Steelers. Okay, so there you have it. Cooper Rush could be an interesting one. Recording this before Monday Night Football. The Cowboys are playing the Panthers, who have been playing decently tough the last couple of games, I will say. So Dallas, Cooper Rush, maybe Russell Wilson, Will Levis. But that's not why you guys are here, right? So let's get into why you guys are actually here. What you really care about. I don't think it's the running backs, guys. Let's dive right in. Hand it off to the running backs, guys. Running backs, 49ers. Have you ever seen something like the Madden curse that was just this bad? That the Madden curse absolutely decimated like an entire running back room, right? We lost Garindo. We lost CMC. This is our 4th running back ad we've had for the 49ers, guys. It's getting crazy. It's getting old. Maybe just get the handcuffs right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's bust them out, right? So first here for the 49ers. Sorry, I got Patrick Taylor, guys. Scored a touchdown today. They're saying it's kind of between Patrick Taylor and what's this guy's name? How do you pronounce this? Israel Abracadabra, I believe is how you say it. So between Israel Abracadabra and Patrick Taylor, maybe Keyshawn Vaughn, but just monitor the situation the whole entire week, right? So let's be diligent, like I said earlier. All right, next here on the list, this is kind of a favorite here on X. Everybody likes this guy, and sincerely, it's Sincere McCormick. Good game today. Took full control of the Raiders' ground game. Alexander Madison, no Zamir White. Could this be a repeat of Zamir White's last December, where he does pretty good? He had 15 carries for 78 yards. Last week, he had 12 carries for 64 yards. He's playing good. It'd be nice if he could get in the end zone, right? I think we would like a touchdown out of our running backs in fantasy football. Hasn't quite happened yet there. But the matchup this week, who's he got here? Atlanta Falcons, so, Atlanta Falcons, nothing like I'm super worried about them running the ball wise, right? So over there after Sincere McCormick, we have Braylon Allen, guys, who it doesn't, he actually didn't have the most fantasy points today with Breece Hall out. With Breece Hall out, I think we can still play Braylon Allen. And even the guy that's kind of interesting is Isaiah Davis. I believe that was what his name was. I accidentally closed my tab here. Give me a quick second here. So on Sunday, Braylon Allen had 43 yards and 11 carries. He caught 4 of 5 targets, so the 5 targets are promising. He had 10 fantasy points. It would have been nice if he could have got that touchdown run that Isaiah Davis got. So Jets got 2 rookie running backs, and I don't have the snap percentages yet, but he had 40 rushing yards on 10 carries for Isaiah Davis, and Braylon Allen had a 43 rushing yards on 11 carries. So it would be awesome if they both got both of those carries, right? And then I will give you we'll wait for the matchups better a little later. And then I have yeah, that's all my running backs. I got Sincere McCormick, Patrick Taylor, and I will read you the running back strength of schedule for the rest of the fantasy season. And while I'm reading that, guys, looking that up, just want to remind you today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Sleeper, the absolute best place for fantasy football. Head over to Sleeper, and fantasy football is over. Doesn't mean the DFS stuff is over. Go in there, pick at least two picks. We have to pick the higher or the lower. And to enter Dudes 100, they'll match you up to $100, guys. It's a lot of fun over there at Sleeper. And just maybe, test the waters out. See how you like it, right? And then you can just tell your commissioner, like, hey, I know I was a jerk to you all season, but this place is actually way better. And I'm still going to be a jerk and tell you how to do your job. But I will never take the responsibilities of commissioner away from you. Not bitter about it at all, guys, I promise. So top running back matchups for teams with the best running back matchups for this upcoming week and actually the rest of the season is what we'll just do. Tennessee Titans, Arizona Cardinals, Philadelphia Eagles, LA Rams, and the Las Vegas Raiders. Maybe Sincere McCormick has the right matchup that he can get it done. Aiden O'Donnell, AOC, looks like he had a season-ending knee injury, so they are going to lean on that running game even more probably. The only guy I think this really hurts the most is Jacoby Myers. I think Brock Bowers, I know, hey, you all make fun of me for my Brock Bowers take over the offseason. Sorry about that. We miss some sometimes. Sorry. All right, worst running back matchups. You got Steelers, Texans, Browns, Bears, Washington Commanders, Seattle Seahawks. So there's some guys there. And even Charbonnet. I don't know, what's going on over there with Walker. So Charbonnet needs to be added as well. All the handcuffs you guys need to get. I'm just giving you like the ones that I think are actually going to get some main playing time, right? Wide receivers, throwing it over to the wide receivers. Here's a new face we haven't talked about. There are some repeats on here. Jalen McMillan. Guy's a good football player, had a good game. Don't really trust guys that my cousin has given concussions to in high school football games. Unfortunately, Jalen McMillan's the only guy on that list, but I still think he's a good ad, guys. Had a lot of action this week, so I will not hold that against him, what happened to him his senior year of high school. Jalen McMillan, though, today had a real good game. Went bananas, really, for a, rookie. 7 targets, 4 receptions, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns, not 1, but 2. And, looks like a guy Baker can trust. We need another weapon besides Mike Evans over there in Tampa Bay. First game with, first touchdown of the year of his career, and he had 2 of them. So good game for Jalen McMillan, who faces the LA Chargers this week, which isn't a great matchup, but the Bucs are going to be slinging it, right? And after that, I got MBS. This guy just happens to just live on this list. He only had 7 fantasy points today, but Derek Carr is going to keep feeding him the ball. So go ahead, add Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That is not getting any easier to say, guys. I promise you that. The touchdown streak came to an end, but he has the Washington Commanders who are going to score points. So I think it's a really nice spot for Marquez Valdez-Scantling to bounce back if you have someone in a bad matchup or just someone that you just don't really trust. A.J. Brown. But all right, next I have Nick Westbrook-Akeem, guys. Again, touchdown streak ended. Maybe this is just, falling down back to earth. Playing the Cincinnati Bengals. They can't stop anyone on defense. Maybe he gets back into the end zone here. Don't hate it in an absolute, brutal matchup that you have to have somebody or a fill-in. And then this is one you probably really aren't going to like. So just plug your ears, plug your nose, whatever you have to do. I got the guy, the doctor, Quentin Johnson, 13 fantasy points. He had 7 targets. I believe that is his second most targets he's had in a game this year. 1 touchdown, 48 receiving yards. Touchdown was nice. He got absolutely schmanged on the pass, guys. Just destroyed. Hung onto the ball. I go watch him on Monday Night Football. He can't catch anything. He's dropping balls that I would catch. Take his head off and he'll catch the ball. Craziest thing, Quentin Johnson led the team in targets. Maybe when Ladd McConkey comes back, it's not as good. Playing the Buccaneers that cannot stop anything through the air other than, the Raiders. So I think it's a good spot for Quentin to continue what he's going. It's risky. I'm not going to lie. It's a risky play there for Quentin Johnson. But you got to do what you got to do in playoffs, guys. And then I'm going back to the well here. And then it's not pretty, guys. If Ladd McConkey's out, you can throw Will Disley in there, I guess, if you're in absolute pinch. Who's he better than Kyle Pitts at this point? He's not really that much better than anyone. But the guy I really like at tight end, guys. And I really like this guy. I mean it, I mean this. And I got to go with Juwan Johnson. He had a good game, solid, looks good. He's getting the targets. Had a lot of fantasy points today. This is the guy you want to add here, Juwan Johnson. And he is only rostered. What's his rostership here of old Juwan Johnson? He is 20% rostered. He had 13 fantasy points today. He had 5 targets for caught 4 of them, 50 yards and a TD. As long as, Derek Carr has to keep throwing the ball, he's going to have to he's got to throw to someone, right? So Juwan Johnson, I like this ad playing against the Washington Commanders. It's a good spot. And Keandre Miller, also a decent ad. I don't really want to play him. And you know what? There's no need to handcuff really right now, right? So maybe he's a guy you want to handcuff, maybe not. Duds List, all Duds List brought to you by our friends over at Sleeper, great friends of the pod. And these are the guys that just absolutely cost you your matchup. The guys that just, they're like, hey, I'm not making playoffs because of you. This is brought to you by our friends over at Trophy Smack. Go to trophysmack.com/dudes. 15% off your whole entire order. Get yourself that championship ring, guys. Get the championship ring. That's all I'm saying. Quarterbacks, I got Kirk Cousins. 11.8 fantasy points. You went home. You went to your old stomping grounds. You saw all your buddies, all your friends. And you give us 11.8 fantasy points? Come on, Kurt. You're better than that. You haven't thrown a TD in a couple games either. I don't know what's going on. But Michael Penix might just be knocking on the door because the Falcons got to start winning these games. Handing it off to running backs. This is, the league winner. Everyone wanted to call this guy a league winner a week ago. I was one of them. League winner. Bucky Irving, 2.3 fantasy points. Bucky has looked good all season. When he's got the opportunity, I think he's banged up. I was really hoping they would honestly just sit him. When I saw this on Saturday that he was getting banged up, I was hoping hey, let's just sit him and save him for fantasy playoffs and NFL playoffs. Get the guy healthy. They played him. He got 2.3 fantasy points. Might have had a little setback on there as well, just looking at Bucky. I thought I might have read something that he got hurt. Now that I'm thinking about it, Uncle Buck, no. Irving back, didn't return to Sunday's 28-13 win against the Raiders. Hopefully it's precautionary. Doesn't sound good at the moment, but if that's true, there's another running back over there you can add. You can add Sean Tucker. Okay, so Sean Tucker probably needs to be on your list. Other running back, James Cook, 3 fantasy points or something. Come on, James Cook. You look more like the James Cook that got scurvy, the amazing boat captain. You're better than that, James. Playoffs are coming. Get it out of your system. Next on the list, Jaden Reed, Thursday night. Started your week off with an absolute stinker, guys. 0 fantasy points. It was bad. It was brutal. Jaden Reed was nowhere to be found. Next on the list, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7.8 fantasy points. Didn't absolutely hurt your team, but it wasn't pretty. You aren't happy about it. I think Amon-Ra, he would put himself on the list. He cares about your fantasy team. He wants to score touchdowns. He's a tough guy. And then last wide receiver, just permanently on here, Deebo Samuel. I don't know if it's because his numbers change or what it is. The guy has not been a top 10 wide receiver since week 6. Can we drop Deebo Samuel? It's kind of unethical. It might get you kicked out of your league in certain leagues. I really don't want to play this guy. It's bad. I said he would be on this list last week, and he was on it again this week. Kyle Pitts, I think we can drop him, honestly. He hasn't done anything since National Tight End Day, which I believe was in October. So, yeah, Kyle Pitts, back-to-back, just bad games. Stinky, dirty diaper type games. Probably shouldn't talk about diapers on here, sorry. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., just been rough there. Yeah, and A.J. Brown, honorable mention, was 6.3 fantasy points, guys. That is my all duds list, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you like it? Check us out on Thursday, guys. We will have our preview show. Jordan and Seth will have their Underdog show on Friday. They hit this past week, so get in while the get in while the getting's good, right? And they're hot. They're on a burner. Give those guys a follow. Give us all a follow. Give us a sub. Give me a follow on X at tffdudes. We will see you on Thursday, guys. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.